Welcome guys. Let's continue with the next part, and welcome again to the Terraform training. Right. So last class, guys, was a little bit heavy, maybe. Right. Multiple different concepts of of the Terraform, guys. We have discussed in the last class, right? But don't worry. Whatever we had discussed in the last class, somehow it keep on coming, right? Same component we keep on discussing, maybe the use of null resources, maybe the use of provisioner, maybe local provisioners, or local execute or remote execute provisioner, or maybe some more thing, right? So those things is very common things. Multiple time it will come. It will come again and again, right? So there is, if you're not able to understand some of the part of the last class, don't worry. We'll keep on discussing multiple time those particular component, right? So let's focus on next part and add some more thing here, right? So there is as such not big plan for today. Multiple small concepts of the Terraform we are going to discuss today. So there's a concept called Terraform state, variables, managing a central variable file, semantics, the, I can say, the loading order. And so these are the multiple things, right? So let me pick one by one. You automatically understood what exactly the agenda for today. So there's not as such the big plan for today, but a small component that is very useful to know about the Terraform that we'll discuss today, right? So what I'm doing right now, I'll open again and create one more new workspace. Okay. All right, and let me create one more new workspace. Let's say would be AWS workspace one. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create again the file from the initial. So what I'm doing today, the project that we had created yesterday, or maybe I can say in the last class, let me pick the same code. Let's pick some of the component from the same code and start putting something there, right? So what I mean by this, sorry, what I mean by this, let me do it one by one, right? So what I'm doing right now, I'll again go to our last project, that is, I think, the ORB folder we had created. And let me open this particular file over here. The file is web.tf. Okay, so this is the file and big file we had created in the last class. So some of the component I'm picking here. but if you guys see this file now, this code of Terraform become very big. But if you start working on some real use case and start writing a code in the Terraform for some real application, maybe in the production world, so typically the file size is very big. Okay, and it is good practice in the programming world. Don't type the entire code in the single file. Okay, so good practice is just create multiple files, okay, and start splitting your code, okay, in multiple file. So management would be so simple. So technically I'm here talking more about the management. So what I'm trying to do here, right? So there's a one new folder and project we had created. Right now this folder is purely empty. So nothing is there. So what can we do? Okay, so we can create one file here, give a file name whatever you feel like, let's say A, but it is compulsory in the Terraform in your workspace. What a file name you give, that will be your choice, but extension should be TF. Otherwise this file won't work. So whenever you run Terraform apply command or Terraform plan command, or any of the Terraform command, they will look in your current folder and all the file that has extension .tf, or maybe sometime .tf.json. There's one more extension they support by chance. So sorry. So they will look for this extension, and any file who have this extension, they retrieve the code and they run for you. So it means in one single work space, you can create multiple file, and whenever you run Terraform, plan, or apply command, they will pick the code from all the files, plug together, and they run in a way so it feel like that we have created a code in one single file. But technically, so what I'm trying to tell you here is, so if your code is bigger in size, rather than putting everything in the one single file, what can you do? You can do something like this. You can create one file, let's say p.tf. And because my plan is to put some information about my provider, so it is very common trend in the Terraform world. We normally create a file called with the name called provider.tf. You can give any name over here, and this particular code you can put here. Okay, that's all. Or any other information about the provider you can also put over here. Maybe you might have multiple providers, so all this information you can put over here. Okay, so this file is for provider. Okay, let me create some more file here. Let's say file maybe resource or maybe let's say my plan is to launch EC2 instances. So file maybe ec2.tf, give any name. Okay, and all the things about launching the EC2 instances. I know this is one of the block, it's called resource block. So let me put and take this code from here. Okay, and post over here. So in this file, we put all the resources that is more respective to EC2 instance. So you might have more resources, maybe creating a key, creating a security group. So all the respective resources, just for as a planning perspective, you can put here, because normally in one project, multiple members of a team work, and maybe one of the team duty is to work more in EC2. So they will focus on this file only, and they start writing the code for this particular file. So something like this. So this is also a good way to plan this way, right? So, but my interesting thing here to be noticed, guys, here is now we have multiple file. By chance, this file extension.txt come up because this is an issue from the notepad actually. Let me create the file again. So from today onward, guys, we'll try to create multiple file to organize our code. That is the thing I want to say here. Okay. Now, second question, guys, come up here. You guys might have in your mind. So if you have multiple files with the TF extension, so when I run the Terraform, how Terraform come to know which file to use? Obviously, with the help of extension. How you maintain the ordering? Okay, so here they maintain the ordering in the lexical order, means with alphabetic order. Okay, so because E come first of P, so this file will load first and this file will load second. Okay, so the maintain the order in the terms of in the terms of ordering or the lexical order. Okay, so let me show you very quickly. But right now, this is the new time, first time we create this folder, right? So we have to obviously create Terraform in it. Okay, it will load the plugin. So interesting thing is they will go to all the file, and wherever they find provider keyword, okay, they come to know that we are using provider AWS. They're trying to download AWS provider in your local workspace. Okay, so technically we don't have to tell, they will go and read all the file. Okay, now after this, let's go for plan. So they go again, read all the file, plug together, and try to show you what exactly you wanted to do. So they are very clean that you want to add one resource, and the resources is obviously EC2 instances, they know, and they will do for you. So technically, you don't have to worry about the file name. But one more thing, keep in mind, sometime in the future we need, even though they load entire file, they put under the plug and put all the content of the one file in one single block when you run the Terraform. It is just for bare purpose. The ordering is sometimes is very important. What I mean by this, in some minute I will explain what I'm talking about. Okay, let me create one more file here. And this file, let's say, is ebs.tf. Okay, or maybe let's go for ebs.tf. Okay, or maybe we'll give a block storage.tf. Okay, and what I'm doing here in this file, I'll put a resource that will help me to create a volume. Okay, so this will help me to create the volume. So pretty simple. Okay, and one more thing I'm doing here, I'm going to create one more file. It's called attach block. So this file is the one who will help me to attach this hard disk to this EC2 instance. Okay, so let me put here, and this is the code that will help you to attach the hard disk. So nothing new code, guys. This thing we know. Just I'm just putting my code in different files to to properly organize my code. Okay. Now, interesting thing to be noticed here. Okay, this file will help you to launch EC2 instance. This file is help you to log in. This file is help you to create hard disk. And this file, again, let me txt come up, right? Let me again create. But this file will help you to attach the storage. Okay, but now I told you, if in one folder, if you have multiple file, they will get the code, okay, in the ordering. Means they will get the code from this file first, because a first come first, then from this file, and from this file. Now, the challenge, guys, here is, right, because they are using the lexical order, or I can say alphabetic order, to get the code. So now the challenge would be this one. This kind of challenge you'll face, and challenge is this one. Okay, it means first they go and read this file, and this file say, I want to attach the storage to the instance. But till now, this file is not yet run. This code is not yet run. Not yet run. So it means hard disk is not yet created. Instance is not yet created. So without hard disk or instance, how can you attach? And because you can't attach without this creation of the instances and the block storage, so it looks like when we Terraform try to run this code, it might fail or it should fail. But let's see what happened over here. So if I again go, and run the Terraform Terraform plan before I apply Terraform plan. Let's see what happened. So guys, they are very clear. There is no error come up, even though they are very clear that I will add 3 resources for you. Okay, and interesting thing, if you notice here, right, even though they load the code in the lexical order, means alphabet wise, right, but they, while and after they load the code, they know Terraform is very, very smart. Okay, they have in their mind the complete graph or complete execution plan over here. They maintain some kind of graph. Anybody who know graph data type or data structure, something they create internally, and they create a complete execution plan. And they say, I know, I know before you want to attach any hard disk to the instance, first we have to create the volume. See guys, here they say, I will perform action in this format. First I create the hard disk, then I create the instance, because both the things are not dependent, they are not independent. So their order would be anything, but after this they will go and attach the storage. Okay, so there's an interesting thing. So Terraform give a guarantee. They say, I'm intelligent, I know which resource is depend on which resource, so I will automatically plan my execution plan, and that's called, I will automatically maintain the ordering of the resources. So you don't, so that you don't have to worry about the plan or the execution plan. Okay, this concept, guys, is known as inferring, right? Inference, or maybe inferring the resources. So Terraform will infer your resources Okay, by their intelligence, they know which one to run first and which one to run second, even though you might put those resources in a alphabetic order. You write this thing first, maybe this thing last, but they know which one to run first and which one to run second. Okay, there's one thing I want to tell you here, but there might be possibility in some of the cases Terraform might not able to work in proper infer way, in the intelligence way. So how you tackle those concepts? So I'll take one example in a minute. In a minute, then I will show you how we can create an infer. For the infer means intelligence means which one to run first, which one to run second. So I will talk about this, but technically mostly you don't have to worry about. Terraform will take care of those parts. Okay, this is one thing I want to tell you here. Second thing, guys, if you notice in this particular folder, okay, you don't see a file with the extension called state. So there's no file right now with the extension called tf.tf state something. Okay, there's no file because there's a new folder and we haven't applied Terraform yet. But you know what happened? If I apply my Terraform, you guys know what's going to happen. Okay, it will go and run all the resources here. So I say apply, yes. Okay, and now all these three resources they're going to add in the proper infer way, or the infer the resource I can say, and they automatically maintain the ordering. So they are launching the instance first, then they're creating the hard disk or vice versa, because they are not at all independent. Okay, dependent, and then they do the further things. That is the things, right? So that's what they're doing here. Okay, but after you run your code first time, guys, we are running this code. What you will see in your current workspace, they will create a file with some name, but the extension would be tf.state. So what is use of this file? Right, let me explain you, and this is very important concept to know. Okay, so what is state? I already explained to you. So there's two state we have. One is desired state. Okay, 1 minute. So there's one state called desired state, and one is the current state. Okay, so what I mean by this, you guys know, whatever you're looking for, whatever you want, okay, you write in a code. That is your instruction, and that is your desire. So it means whatever you write in this code here is your desire, means this is the instruction what exactly you are looking for. Okay, but what is there right now already created or already available, okay, is called current. Okay, so current means if you go to AWS, what right now exists in AWS cloud is a current state. Okay, and that's what they do. Whenever you run apply command, the desired state is compared to current state. For example, in desired state, you say I want one hard disk. You write in the code and say I want one block storage with this size, with this name. Okay, so whenever you run apply command, means Terraform apply, before they run the code, they will go and check the current state in the AWS and say that I am looking for this hard disk of 10 GB with this name is available. If they say yes, available, they don't apply the code or they don't run the code. But what you're looking for is not there, then only they apply the code or run the code. And this concept, guys, I already given the name. So what you're looking for is already there. If already there, they don't run it. Okay, it's a good thing, guys. It obviously it improves the performance and the time. So this is called idempotence. So Terraform, guys, also work in a concept of idempotence. It's the same way Puppet or Ansible kind of tool work for us for the configuration management, if you know this. Okay. Now, interesting thing, guys, here to be noticed is it means it means whenever you run Terraform command, maybe plan command or apply command, you see this message always. Okay, this message in a minute. with this message called infrastructure up to date, means your current state or desired state is same. There is no change, or because there is no change, we don't have to do anything in the terms of setup. They said there's nothing to detected yet. Okay. Now, important point, guys, to be noticed here. Okay, how they compare these two things. Okay, what I mean by this, right? It's very important point, guys, to be note here. So before this, let me do one small thing here. Let me log in so I can compare you what exactly I'm talking about. So let me go to our cloud. Okay. And why do you say this? The based upon our requirement, those things has been launched in the cloud. Okay, one instance, one hard disk, and one hard disk has been attached. Okay, so I properly manage or organize our code because code may be bigger. Okay, so you can see one instance running here. Okay, this is the instance name I had given right now. Okay, over here. Now, if I run my code and it is very clearly mentioned in the ec2.tf file that I want T2 micro of this OS, and this OS with this name with T2 micro is there. So this is up to date. So this is your current state. And what you're looking for is your desired state. Both are same, so nothing to change. Okay. Now, interesting thing to be noticed here is it means whenever on the apply command or the plan command, both are same, because when you run the apply command, until they always use first plan command. So apply always run plan behind the scene. And if I say yes or auto approve, then they start applying the code. But apply command always run the plan command behind the scene. Okay, so technically, if you run the plan command, what plan command will do? Okay, they will go first AWS cloud. Okay, and they check what is currently available. And whatever they have currently available, okay, they get all the information and store in one local file. This file is called Terraform state file. Okay, so whenever you run the plan command, okay, every time, or apply command, because I told you apply command behind this in use plan command. Every time when you run this command, your Terraform command will always go and log into AWS, right? And they retrieve all the information with respect to project, okay, from the AWS, and stored locally in this file. Okay, and last time, guys, this file was not there, but now after we run this code first time, you can see this file is created. Okay, and if you see this file, let's go Terraform dot state file. Let's go TF state file. You can see, guys, this file is a little bigger, but interesting thing, if you see here, they have a resource keyword is a list because multiple resources we have created, and they maintain here. This is the one resource you created, EBS volume. We created in this particular availability zone with this name. This is what we had given. Okay, and second, you launch one instance with this name. Okay, with one something, and whatever the guys information you have created, and they have given by default even the public IP they also maintain here. Okay, and plus in the last volume attachment. Okay, so all the information, guys, they retrieve in this file. And interesting thing is whenever you use output command, let me create one more file here very quickly. File name is called output.tf. Now you guys know we can split our code in multiple files. Okay, and let me run one output function. Output, let's say my IP, some name I'm giving here, and let's say value is something, and value would be this one. So this is the instance name, instance type, instance name. Okay, you guys know there's one internal attributes. So every instance type and instance name has the one internal attribute. So this is one of the name is public IP, and this is the one who know the public IP of this instance. Okay, now what happened when I run again the Terraform apply command? Okay, so they will launch the instance, and if instance is already there, they don't launch. Okay, but here they print the public IP. Okay, here they print public IP. Okay, but from where they pick the public IP? So I told you guys, every time when you run the apply command or the plan command, okay, they go to AWS cloud every time, get the information stored locally. Okay, what they store all the attribute of your resources, public IP, private IP, and XYZ. And wherever you use this keyword, these keyword guys are not retrieving the public IP or other information directly from the AWS cloud. This syntax will go to state file. Which one? This one that I show to you. Go to state file and say, do you have any resource with this type? Yes. With this name? Yes. Do you have any attribute with this name? They go and check. They say yes. So can you print the IP for me? Because I ask here an output to print, or maybe I ask here to use. So technically, whenever you run, the apply command, plan command, they always get these information in your code, wherever you use maybe the output keyword, not directly from AWS, they get from the state file. Okay, and that is the reason, guys, if you notice ever, whenever you run the Terraform, may plan command or apply command, you see this message always. Okay, one minute, let me show you refreshing state. Okay, and because we have 3 resources, so they do refreshing 3 times on your resources. Refreshing means they're going to AWS cloud internally and retrieve the current information about the state. Okay, and that is a reason, by chance, if I shut down this OS, okay, now what happened? So technically we shut down, but according to our requirement, I want my instance to be up with this name. Okay, so what happened in a minute? So let this instance be shut down, then I'll show you. This instance shut down, or I think my instance name, what I used, So instance name is, in my case, is what is my tag. So tag is the one who maintained the instance name. This one. So I think this instance we have shut down. Let me check very quickly. Okay. So this instance, guys, is stopped. Okay. Now, if I run my Terraform again, so according to my local file, you'll see somewhere here, they might maintain somewhere here, and they say, according to my last refresh, this called refreshing concept. According to my last refresh, this instance was running somewhere. They maintain, just go and check. So somewhere they maintain, maybe they are running. So when I run the Terraform apply again, okay, if they maintain the this part, so guys, you see here, there's a one difference come up. Okay, they say last time it had IP, now you don't have IP. Because we are looking for instance, and according to our last resources, because this time my OS shut down, and because my OS shut down, now we don't have public IP here, even though they maintain here, but after refresh it takes some time to remove. So they say we don't have IP, so nothing will come up. So technically what I'm trying to tell you guys here is, whenever run the apply command or the plan command, they always go and check here. Right, and will give you, and they try to compare with the latest info. So they don't take directly, they will retrieve the information stored locally in this file and do it. So why I'm explaining this point to you, there's one very core technical reason here. Okay, why I'm showing this concept to you. Before this, let me start this instance again to show you this demo. So why I'm showing this, guys, because it is good practice. So guys, what I explained till now is just information, right? But let me explain you one great use case here, big challenge here. why I'm explaining you this concept to you. Okay, because guys, it is very big challenge if you guys wanted to go for automation. And here I want my everything about AWS will be automated with the help of Terraform. Okay, so it is good practice if you're doing automating or automation, do everything from the Terraform. Okay, don't use any manual thing. Don't do. But you know what happened? We don't follow this good practices. Okay, and what happened? Let's say we launch one bigger infrastructure. Okay, and suddenly my team is working on this, and they realize that this is the instance we launch, but by chance by chance this instance we attach with some security group. For example, if you click here and there's one security group we attach. Okay, and we realize that I don't want this security group, this one to be attached. So they go here and change the security group name. Okay, because the way they wanted this instance to work, this firewall doesn't work properly, so they go and change the security group. Or maybe okay, they find this instance we launch with T2 micro, obviously with the help of Terraform, and bigger infrastructure we launch, but due to some reason T2 micro is not working. So what they do, where they quickly go and shut down the instance, and from here, not from Terraform, from here, because they're testing and testing, some kind of issues come up, performance issue come up. So rather than they go and update the code, they directly go here and change the instance instance type, right? How to change, you guys know. Here we can go and change. Let me first stop this. Okay, so what I'm talking about, guys, let me change here very quickly. So what I'm talking about in a minute, I will explain you. So I'll go and change the instance type here. How? Manually. Let's say I go for T2 small. Now, you know what happened? Your current state is T2 small because this is the way you're testing your things. Finally, after implemented by Terraform and testing, you find something not working, you change manually rather than you update your code. Because this sometimes this look very faster to directly change it rather than change the code again rerun. So according to current state, my type is T2 small. Let me again start this guy. So my type is T2 small. But according to my code, according to my code, if you open this code again, it is T2 micro. So again, still in your code, it is T2 micro. So technically, with respect to code, it is your desired state. It is desired state, and but in your current state is T2 small. So, you know, guys, so technically what I'm trying to explain you here is, okay, actually, if you try to understand in actuality, your desired state is what you want. And what you want, you have done manually. And what you want T2 micro, T2 small. Instance type is your desired state. So you know your desired state and you change manually. But my Terraform code who run the things automatically, according to Terraform, still your desired state is T2 micro. Okay. So, you know, the conflict would be, let's say you're working on a team, and this team has a member called A who created this code, and this guy till now know T2 micro is your instance type, but some other team member in the B who is testing and checking the performance, and they change the type to T2 small so that thing will work. And it is very, very common mistakes. We sometimes forget to update this guy that we have changed our desired state. Now I want T2 small. Now what happened, because you change manual way. Okay, now next time if my code run, okay, so Terraform apply, what they do, okay, behind the scene, this command always go to cloud, retrieve the latest current state there, compare this state with your desired that is there in this code. And they find some conflict, but you guys know always your code will always your code will. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you guys here is two things. Okay, before you apply and do anything, it's always good practice to refresh first. Okay, what refresh will do, okay, this is one command to refresh. What refresh will do, they go to a cloud, retrieve all the information about the resources, refresh what is going on currently, this called current state, the current state, they refresh, and after the refresh, this file updated. Okay, and maybe it look very complex, but in this file updated, and if you open this file, if you open this file, what matter? TF state. Okay, you can see now here live that somebody from my team, somebody from my team had changed my instance type, and they change here. You will find somewhere it is written, is there running, instance is running, is T2 small. But based upon my current state, this is one, but if based upon my desired state, is T2 micro. Okay, so technical, what I'm talking about, two things I'm talking about. Okay, this is the good practice to follow. Mostly we don't follow this. Don't, if you're planning for automation, don't try to intervene your things, your setup with manual. Okay, because you doing manual to so that your setup will run the way you want. So I suggest don't do any manual thing, even though there might be small thing. Intimate your developer who write the code, or maybe your developer, maybe this is my small thing, but try to do everything with the code only. Otherwise what happen, otherwise this issue will happen, right? What happened, so when you apply the code, because this is a very common thing, we in a day maybe we apply hundreds of times, apply the code, okay, it will again revert back to this type. Again, there's a one change happen, again they revert back from smart to micro. So technically, if you understand the flow here, okay, I want T2 micro, so I want T2 small. This is my desire. Why? Based upon my research, I want T2 small, and this is all working fine. But next time a code run, apply again, it move back to T2 micro. Again, what are the issue we are facing on the T2 micro or my security group, whatever you want to update manually, again, they will revert back and things start working. So two things I want to conclude here. Don't do any manual thing. Either go everything manual or either go everything automatic. Even the small thing also you want to change, go and change in the code. This is one thing. But second thing, even though this is very clean and clear information to you, but it's a very common mistake we always do. Something want to change, we go for manual. So it is good practice who is running your apply code, what they do first, they do refresh themselves and manually examine the TF state file to see what exactly there going on. Or even though without running the refresh command, because you know whenever you run apply command, they also run the refresh behind the scene. It's a by default nature of apply. So apply always run refresh command, apply always run plan command, both the command apply will run. So you can run the apply command also. From here you can see something is to update and clearly see here what they are doing. So you are the one who develop, so you can see here, check here, hey, I was created T2 micro, but they have small, who changes, there's no there in the code, who changed, so obviously somebody manually changed there. So very small thing, there's no technical thing here with respect to code, but here guys, I'm just trying to explain you the notion here, the flow here. Only one good practice I want to tell you again, don't do manual thing. Either 100% manual or either 100% practical. That's what I want to tell you. So 2 or 3 information I have given to you, refresh command I have given to you, TF command state file I have given to you, and I explained to you whenever you do apply command, your desire is your code, it will compare with your current, but they don't go to AWS for checking, right? Internally they run the refresh command behind this and go to AWS, update this file, the current state, and this file is compared to the code. Okay, and that easy reason it is very much important practice. Don't edit this file manually. Okay, so it will give a lot of confusion in the Terraform. For example, in the AWS, your instance is T2 micro. Code, it is again T2 micro. So whatever we want is there. But by chance, if you update this file manually and you change T2 small, so whenever run the code next time, okay, they feel it is T2 small in the cloud, but even though there is micro, so you again they apply, they again do some changes, so it will unwanted waste your resources. Okay, so don't update TF state file, less the Terraform do it. So technically you can think it's a some kind of temporary file, state file Terraform used to calculate their execution plan. Okay, so there's small information, but it's very important to know okay about these things. So if I again refresh, you can see now is again back to what your desire is, and your desire is 100% linked to your code. What is there in the code, it will be your desire, and Terraform will give you guarantee whatever there in the code, they will take your resources to that one. Okay, so this is one thing. Now let's do some more thing over here. So we had created, guys, 2-3 files here. Let me create one more file. And let's say file name would be I want something like this. So based upon my last class, so I also want to do something after my instance launch. Okay, then I want to run logging there and install some software. Okay, obviously for this we have to use null resources. So for this, what I'm going to do, I'm creating a file. Let's say Apache server.tf file. I'm creating a separate file. Okay, and I'll copy this code here. Resource, this one, from here till here. Okay, and see. So what it will do, it will go logging to this instance. We'll find the package. This course, guys, I always explain to you. So go to this particular OS with this key and install this software. And I put this information in the separate file. Okay, and null resource, guys, is also one kind of resource like AWS. So we have to install a plugin for this first time. So I'll go for Terraform in it, and they download the plugin for the null resource in your project. When null means there is no cloud, no AWS, no GCP, no Azure, right? I'm in null, I'm independent. Wherever you want to log in, where you want to use me, you can use. So for this, it is an independent plugin they have. Let's download it. Now here, to notice, let's do one thing. Before I run this code, let me do Terraform destroy. This command, So what they do, again, this command will go to TF state file and check all the resources running on the cloud, and they have 3 resources, and then pick one by one resources. Again, they know the ordering. They know the ordering, and they destroy all the resources one by one. Okay, so if you run the destroy command, right, they will go to TF state file, and before they go to TF state file, they always refresh. There might be some chances that somebody manually update there, so they go and refresh the state. Okay, on the cloud, update their local TF state file. They found everything is clean. They found 3 resources running. They create execution plan. Now, interesting thing, guys, here is if I start yes and destroying, you'll see, guys, here. Interesting thing is, if you know about the cloud, okay, we can't directly delete the hard disk. So again, they use the infra resources. They know the steps. They know the complete graph or the execution plan. And guys, anybody who know data structure and the algorithm, there's a concept called graph. And guys, here, very they are using this execution plan purely with the graph algorithm and the graph data structure, if you know. Otherwise there's no requirement. So they know the execution plan, and they say we have to first delete attachment, then remove volume, and then remove the OS. So this plan they already have. Okay, how? Because of the intelligence from the in the Terraform they have about this cloud. Okay, now what I want to show you guys, this distro command you know already. But again, they are taking the help of your TF state file, and that is the reason when you run plan command, destroy command, apply command, they always refresh your local TF state to see what exactly going on there. Maybe possibility this instance maybe somebody manually deleted, so there's no meaning to delete again. So that is the reason, guys, they always update your TF state file. Okay, now what I'm doing here, I'm going to apply again. Okay, now there's 2 or 3 files we have. One, this will set up Apache server. They create the hard disk. Sorry, they create the hard disk, they attach the hard disk, they install the instance, so the provision instance, and they print the public IP. Obviously this file they use to log it. So let me again apply. Again apply. Okay, and they say these are the 4 resources we are doing right now. We don't know the IP because my instance is not yet applied. Okay, and we'll do something here. Okay, so they are again setting the instance. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you guys here is, okay, maybe what I would like to show you. Yeah, that's what happened. That's what I want to show you here is. So guys, if you see here, first they, very important guys to notice here, first they install, set up the instance, then they log in and installing the software. Installing the software. Okay, so let me write here the sequence, what Terraform apply. First they launch the instance, then do SSS, how, with the help of null resources. This is the second thing they're doing. Then after this, let's see what happened. Right now they are running the null resource. Now they are attaching the storage, and obviously guys, if they're attaching, maybe before attachment they might somewhere in the top they might had created a storage for you. So let me check where they had created storage. Okay, somewhere, yeah, here. So first they create the instance, then they create the storage, then do SSS, and in the SSS guys they install the PHP, Apache server, and then that is the storage. Okay, now guys, this is the great example by chance created. In this example we have one bug. Right, so bug means my code run fine, there's no challenge, everything is working good, there's no challenge. What I wanted is happening here. But in this code we have one drawback or the bug. Okay, what is bug? Let me show you. Okay, so before this, let me again destroy my infrastructure. Okay, so let me delete again so I can show you one more time. So what I'm doing here, so let's say in my code I'll add one more line here. One more line here. Let's say this code, let me also add. So in my this file, okay, let me add this code also plus this code also. So technically what I'm trying to tell you here is, let's this guy destroy. Sorry. So you guys understand in a minute by this particular practical what exactly I'm talking about. Okay. So let me open this file again. This where is Apache? Because guys, based upon my last day plan, okay, I want to install Apache server, I want to install PHP, Plus I want to do some more thing. What some more thing? I also want my hard disk to be formatted. Plus I also want the mounted, plus I also want my Git software to be installed, plus plus the download some code there. So technically, because I want, when this OS launch, I pick the IP address, then I do SSH, and after SSH, I install the software, start the services, what hard disk is connected, I will format it, I mount it, then install the Git and download the code there. Okay, now guys, challenge here is, okay, right now the sequence is something like this. Okay, first they launch this OS, then they create the hard disk, then they run this code. Which code? This entire code, and then they attach the storage. But understand one thing, guys, till the time your storage attach, okay, this hard disk don't come. If hard disk don't come, how can you format it? Okay, so again I'm repeating, guys, here you are talking about you want to format the hard disk. Hard disk only come after you attach the storage. Okay, but accordingly the Terraform is used a sequence, okay, in a way that they first format the hard disk, then the hard disk attached. Okay, so what I'm talking about, let me again explain. You guys can hold for a second, please. Okay, so understand one thing, let me again explain this point in very more clear way. So, so understand this way, what is the sequence the resources work in AWS, Terraform know. They know, okay, that first we have to create this, then create hard disk, then only we can attach. So those things Terraform know, they have intelligence on this part. But anything that you do from your side, what's your extra plan, obviously nobody in the world know. This is your plan to install PHP, this is your plan to install Apache, this is your plan to format this hard disk, okay, and mount this hard disk, and then after this put some data in this hard disk. How? After after format, we mount it, and in this folder, and in this folder we are putting some data. This is your plan, because this is my plan, this is my execution, this is my script, what steps I am following, how anybody in the world know, or how Terraform Terraform know. Okay, so here you know your steps. Terraform know the dependency of the resources, and Terraform also know one thing, they have to run the file in the order format. So what Terraform has done, okay, Terraform will go in this folder. In this folder, they go and load all the file, and they see, because this resource we have to launch first, then this one first, then this one next. Okay, but they don't find any order in this file and this file, there's independent things. So here they use lexical order and say, okay, so this file is not at all dependent on anyone, this file is not at all dependent on anyone. So I can run this file in any order, especially this file. In this file, because you are asking to run the script, so, and because this script they have to run on the OS, so they decided I will run this file after my OS launch. But there is nothing clearly mentioned in this file that this file is depend on this file. Because till the time a blob storage has been attached or mounted, I can't run this code, because this code need my block storage. How they format it. Okay. So I think you guys have clarity what I'm talking about. So if you have your own personal plan, there is not at all the concept of AWS cloud or GCP cloud or Azure cloud. You're doing something on your own. Okay, then you have to tell Terraform very clearly, And so Terraform, this is the resources we are running. Okay, and you pick these resources because this resource license is based on my OS. So obviously you will read my code and you will run this resource after my OS launch. But there's no other keyword we are using. There's no other dependency you see here. None of dependency you see about my hard disk, because I haven't put anything, my resource name about my hard disk. It's just a name, but I haven't used this kind of resource name. So you can run this resource in any order. Maybe sometime you order run this resource before, after, we don't know. So I would like to tell you very clearly here that I am a resource. I'm purely depends on some of the resource. Which resource? This one. So if you go inside this file, okay, name of this resource name and type is this one. Let me copy the name and write here. Okay, so I have one resource type and that has this name. So I am a resource. I don't know which order you're going to run me. But here I would like to clearly tell you that you have to run me only after this resource. Because I know my plan, I know my execution, even though it's not clear here that I'm dependent upon this resource name. Okay, it's not here. This because these are just an internal part of my operating system. But I know because I am the one who created this code. So I'm telling you that this resource is depend on this. It means if this resource is not yet created, create first, then only run me. But if this resource fail, don't run. If this resource is not yet run, first run this, then run. Okay, so here the role of depends on keyword come in play. So depend on very important keyword. Mostly in some of the use cases, these are the one of the good use case. I just try to elaborate you here. Okay, where where you should know what your order. So again, this is a concept of ordering. You should know your order accordingly. You can make two resources depend on each other or one after another, right? Something like this. So depend upon is one of the great keyword in the Terraform world. This is known as meta character. So we search for Terraform depends on is one keyword. It's a meta character or meta argument here. It's a meta argument. And so here, if you see one resource is dependent on other resource, and Terraform can't able to auto infer. That's what I'm talking about. Terraform has intelligence. They do infer automatically. They know first we have to create a hard disk, then to attach this called infer. Okay, but in some time they won't able to automatic infer. Okay, this is one of the example I was talking about. Then you have to tell very explicitly that run me after this. Okay, so this is a small keyword, but I just want to create this practical first so you can link what exactly talking about. Okay, so let me first destroy if it's not there, so I can show you again from the sketch. Now they will maintain the sequence the way we have planned. So nothing there. Now let me apply. So this time what you will see, first they launch EC2 instance, then they create hard disk, then they attach hard disk. That is a automatic infer because of the execution plan, the intelligence by Terraform. Okay, but one thing, Terraform don't know where to put SSS or null resource. So there we decided that this guy is depend. So guys, here instance launch volume they're creating. The last time, guys, after this, now this time we see here, this time they are in the right order the way I wanted. Because we very clear, right? I don't want after volume creation my SSS commander or my null resource one. Okay, I want my null resource only run after my volume attach. Here I have described. After this, they will start null resources, guys. Null resource running, and whatever we put in the code accordingly, they will run for you. Okay, so you know your requirement, and based upon the requirement, you have to plan this concept. Okay, and you should know also the execution plan or the graph model of Terraform. And one click they run, and they also give me the IP address. If you go inside this OS, if you go inside this IP address, you might see if everything worked good in the web folder, you will see your website come. This is the same practical I show you in my last class also. But same practical, I divide the multiple file, I set the ordering, some ordering Terraform have automatically, some ordering we decided. Okay, and accordingly we have planned this. Okay, so that's all guys. So multiple concept is small concept, some concept is there already, you don't have to worry much. But you should know the use of this file so you don't mess around this file. Okay, and now guys, your code become a little bigger and bigger, so it's always good practice to always validate the code. There's one program called validate. It check your syntax error, my all the code is right, there's no syntax error, but by chance if you miss some square bracket here, for example, and again try to validate, they are try to help you in which file, okay, in which line number you have some issues. So they try to help you in somewhere in this line, you have the issue. So just go and rectify the issue, save the file, again run, and they will tell you everything is good. Now you can go for plan and that plan. Okay, so validate is a good command, sometimes very useful to validate your code. So that's all guys. So now we can expand your horizon, start writing multiple code. Think, because you know your plan, you know what you want to achieve, you know your step by steps, or that's called ordering. So you can use depend on keyword to order your resources, right? If you any resource that is your internal, that obviously your platform doesn't know, there you can use depend on. So that's all guys for today. See you in the next class. Any uh, queries if you have till now, you guys can ask me. Is blockchain technology so powerful that it can overpower cloud computing? No, Gitans. Is very useful, but this is a very common statement. I've also read multiple times. Is it will never overpower the cloud computing. Both solve different use cases, right? So there's no link of blockchain to overpower the cloud computing. How to get command output? How to get command output in the variable? So Krishna, just wait for 1 or 2 days. I am going to take multiple things about the variable, so we will discuss that. A person, if you're getting this error executing Terraform SS file, so there might possibility two things. Okay, because whenever you use null resources, this entire code go in your instance, they run, and they run with the power of this user. If this user don't have a power, they fail. So this user should have sudo power, and you run sudo here. Okay, if you don't have sudo power, don't run a sudo here, it would fail. Or second possibility maybe okay, you're looking for install this software, but this software might not be there, so this command will fail. So I suggest, okay, if this resource is giving error, I suggest copy this command in the instance, manually run and try again, and again try. So it's way to debug which command is giving the error. So let's say if this command is giving the error, so it means this hard disk is not there. It means after we attach, hard disk name will be different. So I suggest if while running this particular resource, what person you are asking here, or you're getting the error called executing error of this Terraform SS. So I think this is the one of the way to debug where the error comes up. So maybe one of the error come in the command. Accordingly, you will go and change the command or change the name accordingly. Try to create security group but unable to do it. Sumit, I'll try to take one example of security group. I don't think so. We have challenge in creating security group. We have a resource type already available for security group. So I don't think so any issues, but maybe Sumit, in some of my classes, I'll take the example of security group. So you can compare your code of security group or in your respective WhatsApp group, or maybe in Slack channel, put your code. Some technical volunteer definitely help you what kind of error you are getting. Yes, JS, Terraform distro command only destroy the code that is created by Terraform. Okay. For example, if you create two instances, one instance is created by Terraform, one instance is created by you manually. So Terraform only destroy the first one that is being created by Terraform. But in that instance that is created by Terraform, if you do some changes there, some attribute changes, maybe manual, but that entire resource is created by Terraform. Okay, so even the distro command will destroy that one also. Okay, because Terraform internally maintain the resource ID. So example, if you launch issue instance, so whatever change you do in the issue instance, maybe security group or firewall or maybe instance type, ID will be same always. Okay, so when you do distro command, they will destroy that instance. So I think JS, this is what you asking me. Again, Vashita, you can unmount the hard disk with umount command. There's umount command there to unmount. But if umount command is not allowing you, maybe because because this particular folder where we mounted is used by Apache server. So in this case, you can umount with forceful. The command called umount have an L. L is a forceful, and umount this folder. Okay. So same command you can write here to umount. Let's call unmount technically. Samir, this is a way to fetch the code from GitHub. There's a pretty simple command, git clone, and give the URL. It will automatically fetch the code for you. Okay. So, actually, there's no meaning of stateful or stateless. Stateful, stateless is very different concept altogether. So the file that you see is just a state file. State means they are maintaining the information. Okay. But stateful, stateless concept is very different concept. Normally, sometimes we use in firewall world, sometimes we use in programming world also, right? Okay, so here, what you are talking about stateless, stateful is a very different concept. Here, this file that I show you is state. State means they're maintaining what is there in your cloud right now, locally, that information. So here they give the name state, but this state is different, and stateful, stateless concept is different. Occurs, if you're talking something on modules in Terraform, in my upcoming class, we'll talk about the modules. I'll discuss more about. So, guys, I'm trying to pick some questions here to reply you. Just wait for it. Yes, Shashi, you can write the code in VS Code. So right now, guys, I'm using very typical notepad to write my code. Obviously, is not good way. You can use Visual Studio Code or maybe Atom or any of the IDE. Just go and write the code there to properly manage the code. Prakhar, backup file is nothing. Whatever you had, because when you run the apply command or plan command, they refresh the code or TF state. Okay, so they create a backup before the refresh. So if you want to see what you had previously, okay, that where you can use the backup file to see it. Okay. So which is better says for DevOps? Because there's both the things are different, right? They are implementing and using a different, solving different challenges actually. So there's no meaning which is different. Both are different. Also, which is better? Both is better. So Aditya, there's no meaning of ad hoc command, right? Anybody who know Ansible, we have an ad hoc command there. Terraform, there's no meaning of ad hoc command. So Ansible is a configuration management tool. Technically, Ansible will log into the OS and run their commands. Because Ansible is logging to the OS and run the command of that OS. So in the Ansible, we can go for ad hoc commands, but Terraform is not logging to any of the OS. They're contacting to the cloud or the platform, typically known as API, okay, and asking them to do something. So in the Terraform, there is no meaning of ad hoc commands. So what are you asking, Aditya? Can we have ad hoc command? Answer is no. Plus, I also try to explain you why we don't have. Yes, Piyush, you can set a web server inside Docker in Terraform. So we can do this. Yes, guys, in my upcoming class, I will take examples of Azure Cloud also or GCP also. So, but right now, my plan is to first explain you multiple concepts of the Terraform because same concept will apply in Azure Cloud or GCP also. So first, I'm trying to make you comfortable with these concepts. Then applying the same concept other cloud won't be a big deal. So that's all, guys. I believe maybe multiple queries here, but I believe most of the query will be solved if you practice this concept, or maybe the remaining queries guys will be come up in upcoming classes. That's all, guys. See you in the next class. Bye. Take care. See you.